Hey guys, Ormac here, once again, for Geneforge 5. Because I like this game, so there. Left off, we came to the southern edge of the map. Right down here, Hell. Is there a section of the map down lower? I don't know. I aim to find out. I'm pretty sure there is. The map moved around in Geneforge 4. I can only assume it will continue to do so in 5. Okay, that's the game. I thought there was a wind in my microphone, and I'm like, what is that? But no, it's a windy, stormy area. You enter Hill, the keep at the top of this pass between Maratev to the north and the Storm Plains to the south. The climb up here was long and exhausting. The path was narrow and rocky, with many switchbacks. Anyone trying to attack this keep would have a very difficult time. Put a handful of kai shacks at the top of the narrow trail, and any attackers would suffer gruesome casualties. The border between the two provinces is, as seems to be usual now, sealed. Travel is highly restricted, in the hope of keeping new noxious creation types quarantined as much as possible. Thus, you are unsurprised to see that the guards are watching you warily, and that the huge stone doors at the far end of the keep are closed. You won't be able to pass through without at very least speaking to the commander. Well, I'm not entirely surprised, even though I'm only fielding a standard issue. Cryora and Vlish. You... Bard? And what are you doing here? You know, just existing in a Bard place is grounds for termination. Unless you mean the place beyond this place. I mean, the Storm Plains could be Bard? Sure. I could see that. Who are you? Glenny. You meet the customs officer of Hill. No goods or creations traveling through this path do so without escaping her gaze, or taxes. Right now she looks understandably bored. She's very pleased to have someone to talk to, since so few travelers have passed through the fort. Welcome, welcome! I am Officer Glenny. Not a merchant, I see? Yes, a warrior. Well, I should still ask you a few questions. Her questioning mainly consists of chat about the weather, events in Maratev, and other topics to ease the tedium. Eventually you start looking for ways to extricate yourself. Oh dear. Things been slow lately? Alas, it is true, there's been very little travel between the provinces. The tariffs that keep the Shaper coffers full have not been coming in. She sighs wistfully. Loyal civil servants such as I must sit and wait. One day I will be called upon to act again. Why so little travel? The borders are sealed because of spies and rebel servals trying to steal our servals away, and because of rogue creations, the creatures made by the accursed rebels. We are trying to keep them from spreading. Merchants carrying goods needed for the war effort are allowed through, as are soldiers, of course. Mere tinkers and refugees are turned away. The Shapers collect taxes, durr. No kidding, they collect taxes. They're the ruling body, and they have all this infrastructure they need to take care of, plus a standing army. Yeah, they need to pay for all that stuff, so yeah, they collect taxes. Stupid. How are you keeping busy? I've been going through the records, sorting them, consolidating them, burning those that are no longer needed. The Shapers want records of all new or unusual creation types that have been brought through. They have also asked me to learn what creations have been taken through Lerman's Pass, as if I could find out that information. Lerman's Pass. It is the other main pass between the Maratev and the Storm Plains. To the west, it's taken over by rogues, with the help from an Unbound. It has not yet been retaken, though I'm sure this will happen soon. Any way I can help? She brightens up. In fact, you could! You look like a wandering mercenary type. If you were ever around Lerman Pass and happen to be looting and pillaging the customs office, see if their creation ledger is intact. It would be worth your time. I'm authorized to make a payment to recover the information for the Shapers. Just be aware, I've heard the defenses in the pass are quite nasty. Why do they want to know? She shakes her head disapprovingly. It is not for us to ask why the Shapers do what they do. Sometimes they audit the movement of untested creation types to make sure that nobody is doing anything they shouldn't. You never know when someone might break the law or carry an unusual creation away for sinister purposes. I don't want to talk to her about the assassination. I'm only supposed to talk to what's-his-face down here about it. Well, wherever the frick he is. In here, I guess? Enter the main hall, where the commander of this keep gives orders and evaluates travelers. It is built on a huge foundation of stone and looks like it is centuries old. Perhaps this keep was first made by the woods people of the Maritiv, defending their lands from hostile incursions for many years before the Shapers came. Kratorik must be considered a very important part of Maritiv's defenses. It is run by a full guardian. He sits on a throne flanked by creations ready to impress the new visitor with the full glory of the Shapers. When you approach, he inspects you carefully. He doesn't care for you. He says, "I am Guardian Makar, commander of Kratorik. None pass through here without my permission. Approach and state your business quickly." He is flanked by Urgloks and a Guardian Roamer. Three Guardian Roamers. I'm not going to state my business quite yet, good sir. I'm looking around. Somni's office. Huh, they've got a board game going. Interesting. I wonder who he's playing with, or if he's waiting for someone to play with. I'd play with him. I guess this is Somni. Erase. Small woman sitting at the desk behind Guardian Makar. She is surrounded by papers, pens, bottles of ink. Her fingers are covered with black smudges. When you approach her, she is very nervous. She seems to be used to being the invisible part of the scenery. She points to Makar and whispers, "There! The Guardian is there! Shh! Go away, I'm not here." Okie dokie. You approach Guardian Makar, commander of Kratorik. He lifts the visor of his helmet and inspects you. You aren't sure how much he has heard about you. He looks at you with clear distaste. You can see that he is an old man. Most Shapers, when they reach an advanced age, retire, leave the control of creations to younger, more energetic members of their sect, and go somewhere calm to disperse wisdom. Makar has instead opted for a more active retirement. Sitting in this fort is not a prestigious or exciting job, but it is important. He obviously takes it seriously. We get few visitors here. Few are passed through, and none without my blessing. You are a suspect creature. You've clearly been touched by illegal shaping. I can sense the essence in you. You had best show me something that gives you authority to travel through our lands. I'm going to show my papers. Well, then, let's see your paperwork. This should be amusing. Car's arrogance has an effect on you. You feel your temper rising, but you choke it back. Seems to be intentionally trying to draw this response from you. Reads the papers, chuckles, and hands them back to you. Those are signed by Raoul. I should imprison you for carrying his papers, not to aid you. They say I should treat a thing like you as a Shaper. Ha! Your permission to pass through here is denied, Warp One. Do what business you have here and go. Speaks to the woman sitting at the desk behind, takes notes of everything he says. Storia is sitting here. She believes that the assassins who tried to kill her have a contact here. Guardian Makar frowns. That is grim news indeed. Turns to the woman, taking notes behind him. Somni, make sure not to miss a word of this. She nods. Makar says, for someone to try to assassinate the member of the council. This is unforgivable. I do not care for you, creature. But if Astoria thinks you can find this villain, I will not stand in your way. Do you have any idea who the assassin was going to meet here? I do have some ideas. Let me think for a moment. I wish to be sure. I'd like to hear what you know of this situation. Of course, I will cooperate fully on this matter. Why do you call me a Warped One? You think I have never seen your kind before? I've heard stories of Raoul's new cunning servant, and here you are. You are the same as the others. A canister addict. Powerful but unfocused. Erratic? How am I erratic? Or points at you and laughs. Nasty, arrogant, smug chuckle. Your skin flushes and you start to feel irritated, but you squash the feeling. It is surprisingly easy. The car stops laughing and he nods. You have not partaken of the canisters as much as I thought. You are still a creature, in my eyes, but you are at least not a reckless one. You've met people like me? No, I have fought people like you, human in creation, vile creatures who break our laws by simply existing. And I killed them. They were no match for the focus and discipline of a true shaper. What have you heard of me? Just stories, most false, obviously. Product of the vomit of gossip that appears in war. I only judge but you by what I see, and that does not speak in your favor. Well, harsh. Why do you think someone tried to kill Astoria? It takes no great insight, in this time of war, to see why someone would try to kill a member of the Shaper Council. Of course, Astoria has occasionally followed paths that were controversial, but I think that the rebels or the Dracons are natural suspects, or the Trachovites. The Trachovites? Their hatred for the Shapers and their ways is well known, as is their fanaticism. One of their agents might have slipped out of the Okavano swamp to attempt this crime. What sort of controversial things did she do? Rumors of her trying to make peace with the rebels. I will not state my mistrust in all rumors. And even if these libels were true, the place to deal with this is in the Shaper Council, among Shapers. You think she should make peace with the rebels? Of course, on our terms, in accordance with all the laws of the Shapers. But she is in the council. I am not. I will trust her wisdom. Where do you think I should look for the assassins? Thinks carefully about this, then he says, This fort is small. Little happens here I do not know about. But there is one thing I do not have full control over. The stoneworks. What are the stoneworks? A shaper installation for working stone into tools for our use. Essence pool basins, alchemical pots, the occasional golem. And so on. It was sealed several decades ago. Some sort of accident. I don't know the details. Notice that Somni stops writing for a moment. Just a short pause, then she starts again. Her hand is shaking. Normally I would not mention it, but for the noises. What sort of noises? Clunks, a hum, stone grinding on stone. Brief and barely perceptible, but it did draw the attention after several decades of silence. Who heard these noises? A guard on detail. Whenever a barred area is this close to an active settlement, a guard must be posted at all hours. Shaper law. Wise if inconvenient. Man, this guy talks a lot. Just a second. I'm back, but I will have to depart soon because it's fairly close to dinner time. Anyway, can I investigate the stoneworks? This seems wise. It will give me time to question everyone here again, and search every room and every bookshelf, every dresser. The entrance to the stoneworks is to the northeast. I will have it unsealed for you. It should be interesting. You'll be the first person to enter in decades, or at least that is supposed to be the case. Think you could tell me about the stoneworks, or any plans? I'm afraid not. It has been closed for decades. I suspect that you will only find a tedious series of empty rooms, and the noises were only caused by minor vermin. Still, on my authority, you can and should investigate. Alrighty, thanks. Let's go poke our noses into that place that dude said was barred. Which was over here? Yeah, right here, I think. There's a lone soldier standing guard at this door. It's closed. It looks like it hasn't been opened in years. The chin and the moss cover the cracks, and the cracks are full of dust. The guard holds out her hand when you approach. Halt! I'm Sergeant Jess of Kratora. I can tell you that this area is barred by order of the Shapers. You must turn back. She drops her hand at her side. That was the speech. You should go back. There is nothing here anyway. I have permission to pass through this door. You can claim that if you want, but I only say what I'm ordered to say. This place is barred. That means nobody can enter. The Shapers say so. When you get close to the door, it vibrates slightly. Some of the dirt and mold fall away, and Sergeant just says, "Of course, I could be wrong about all that." Why was it barred? That's Shaper business. I don't know anything about it. I just go where they tell me. Okay, let's go in then. Into the stoneworks. Sure, this looks inviting. The statues are snapped in half. Oh, goodness. I'm gonna die. 2 renegade golems or something. Hey, a lever. Special lever. You enter the Kratora stoneworks. It's cold and musty and still. The floor is covered with dust and dead dry lichen. The only sound is the distant echo of air passing through the stone halls. Perhaps some of the old ventilation tunnels are still open. The entry chamber is where huge piles of raw stone were brought in to be evaluated and sorted. Then they were taken off to be worked into cauldrons, shells, and the occasional golem. You look around for signs that someone has been in here recently. There is nothing. You start to have the unpleasant suspicion that you're wasting your time. Oh, I'm sure I'll find something worthwhile in here. Oh, geez, I need to sell crap. Definitely not getting through all this in one go. Because I'm going to have to go back to sell junk. Hello, door. One living tool, or that. Ooh, red crystals. Walk among the large piles of granite blocks. They had just been dumped here when the complex was barred. Everyone had to leave, and all the tools and materials were just left behind. As you look around, you notice something on the floor, a scuff. It's as if someone's heel scraped away some of the layer of dust and debris. It's faint, but you don't think it's just your imagination. Shameful. Shameful behavior. Also, I need to find a merchant. I don't think there's one in Kratora. There might be in this building. I just need to offload some of this crap. Offload. This hall is provided so merchants traveling through the pass have a place to safely rest and repair their equipment. The Shapers provide this service gratis to encourage trade and good feelings. It's currently empty. Doesn't look like a caravan has been through here in a few days. Well, darn. Looks like I'm going to have to exit stage left. Unless there's a merchant up here. Oh, looks like a blacksmith. Hey dude, hey. I want to sell stuff. Like, I think I want to sell this chainmail because I don't really have an intention of getting hit a lot. It's not high on my list of objectives. Yeah, I think I'll just sell that. Let's see what you got. Shaped blade. Goodness. Already getting to the shaped blades. Well, I wonder how powerful the weapons we're going to find later on. If the shaped blades are showing up this